I want to demonstrate my reharmonization technique in Audacity because I think it is pretty interesting. Um, and I'm working with the song Video Games by Lana Del Rey. I have the a cappella here.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing, pulling wild dots, video games.
And I think it sounds really good as it is, but I'm trying to mess with it and make some chords. So the first thing I want to do is select a section of music that contains all the same note. So we have
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
Okay, it looks like Kissin' in the ends right here, and we'll highlight that and just check it.
Kissing in the
And I have just a little bit of B at the end of that, so I'm going to move a little bit to the left.
Kissing in the
So that sounds pretty good to me. I'm going to press Control B to label that. And then when I click here at the end of it, a little yellow line shows up and I can press play.
blue dark, playing, blue dark.
And yeah, it sounds like I got pretty much right on the border there of the and blue. So I'm going to take this section that I labeled and I'm going to copy it, Control C. And now what I'm doing is I'm challenging myself to use a random number for the bass note. So I'm going to generate a random number here. And it's 3, so that's D. And this is a really difficult chord to pull off because the top note is D sharp, I believe. Actually, I need to check that. Okay, I was wrong. It's actually B, so this is a little easier than I thought. And so I need to check what the last chord it was that I did, and it was this chord. So I'm going to try to go from this chord to another chord that has B at the top and D at the bottom. And I think that's going to be a G7th chord. So I'm going to try that. And I like how that sounds. Another choice I might go with is a B minor 7th chord. And I think that I like that a little better. I could also do a D diminished chord. And I like that a lot. I could do a B diminished 7th. And that's really good too. Or I could do E7. I don't like that as much. I really like B diminished 7th. So I'm going to go with that one for now and just see how it sounds. So that has 3 notes underneath the top note. So I'm going to paste this 3 times into my new track. And then I'm going to pitch shift them all. And when you pitch shift, you have the option to do it by note or directly by frequency. And the great thing about doing it by frequency is that you can make perfect intervals, which are more harmonic sounding. But you do have to do some math. And I've been doing this for a while on this track. As you can see, I'm a minute 37 in. So I've gotten pretty used to all the math here, and it might be kind of difficult to explain. But when I go down from B to D, that is, what's it called? A major 6th. And a major 6th, the ratio is, it's, how do I say this? This note, the D, is 3/5 the frequency of this note, the B. So when I do change pitch, I copy the original frequency, and I go to my calculator, and I multiply it by 3/5. And I get 137.142. You can only do 3 digits in Audacity, but since it was 1426, I'm going to round up to 143. And you see that nice good number, minus 40%. That's a good sign that you're doing the right thing. And I'm going to say yes to that. And then we get this extra little bit here. I usually just delete these altogether. I don't think they make a big difference. So then the next note I have is an F here. And D to F, you multiply it by 6/5. So I go back to this tab and multiplied the frequency I've already got by 6/5. And I get 164.571. I don't need to round this up. And there, 28%. That looks pretty good to me. So I click OK. And I delete the extra little bit. And then I have this A up here. Now, D to A is a perfect fifth, which has a ratio of 3 to 2. So I go to this tab, I delete my 6/5 since I'm not using it anymore, and I put in 3 halves instead. So I got 7.13, round up to 0.714, minus 10. That's a good sign. And then I have to zoom in real fast so I can delete this extra little bit. So let's listen to this chord now.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
And I'm not sure I like it as much as I thought I did. So I'm going to delete this one, I think. Paste a fresh, new, original note. And I'm going to say 5/4 here. 5/4 is a perfect third. So I get this number. And I'm going to change pitch 25%. Okay, cool.
Kissing in the blue dark. Kissing in the blue dark.
And I still don't like that. Let me play the previous line before that, just to see how it all sounds together.
Singing in the old bars, swinging with the old stars, living for the fame. Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start this all over. Actually, no, I don't need to. Yeah, I do need to start pretty much all over. I delete this. Delete this. This can stay. But my mouse is going crazy. I paste the original note. I paste the original note again. And I'm going to do an F natural here, which is 6/5 times the lowest note again. %. And then I'm going to do a G, that's a perfect fourth, which is 4/3. Round up, 20%, nice. Delete these extra little bits.
Singing in the old bars, swinging with the old stars, living for the fame. Kissing in the blue dark.
Okay, I do like how that sounds, and it does sound a little messy. And here's where I do something really strange. I used to try to use noise reduction to get that messiness out, but now I do distortion, which you think would do the wrong thing. It would make it even messier, but it actually kind of evens out the tone. So I do soft overdrive here. I just do a really small amount, two units, I guess. And then the output level, 77, so it's going to get like 25% quieter, 23% quieter. And I press apply. And see, it's those waves have shrunk down a little bit. And now we have...
Kissing in the blue dark. Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
And hold on, I might have messed this up this whole time. No, I didn't mess it up. This is fine.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
And we see we have a... We're going to move on to the next note, which is on blue here. And we're going to select it.
Blue.
And we're just going to move a little bit to the left because we're getting a little bit of a D sound there that we don't want.
Blue.
That sounds pretty good. So we label it and we click at the end of the label.
Dark, playing.
And that sounds great too. That's right at the beginning of dark. So we copy this. Let's get our random number. 1. So 1 is C. And we're doing C to E flat. D sharp, actually. I guess this isn't C, it's B sharp if we want to get technical, but I don't like to say B sharp, so I'm going to say C. And we'll just deal with that. So we have... So that's a G 7th chord, which usually resolves to C minor, so we could do... But I don't like that. That doesn't sound good. I could just go with the C directly above E flat and not have a middle note. I don't like that either. Let's try a C diminished. That sounds pretty good. Let's try an E flat diminished. And an A flat. So C diminished was the best of those. By the way, I'm writing down all the chords I use so I don't forget them. So let's try C diminished. Now, the thing about diminished chords is that they're supposed to be dissonant. And the other thing is that they consist of equal intervals in equal temperament. So instead of doing perfect intervals for the diminished chord, I'm actually just going to do equal temperament intervals, which is easier to do and more appropriate. So I got this copied. I'm going to press paste twice. Or should I do it 3 times? Let's see. That does sound pretty good. So I'm going to do it 3 times because there are 4 total notes here. So there should be 4 notes here if I want it to sound really even and good. This lowest note is down an octave and a minor third. So that is minus 15 semitones. Delete this extra bit. Then we have down a major 6th. I always get those confused. So that is minus 9 semitones. And then up here we have down a tritone, minus 6 semitones. So let's hear how that all sounds together.
Kissing in the blue dark. Kissing in the blue dark place.
And that does sound pretty good, but you might notice there's a little click. And so what I do when I hear that click, one of the things I do, I have a few techniques, but we'll try this one first. I just fade out the end of the first chord and fade in the beginning of the second chord.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool.
And that sounds pretty good to me. I'll just play it one more time. I really play my stuff back very often.
Kissing in the blue dark.
There might still be a click there.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
Another trick is to close your eyes when you're doing this. Okay, I'm going to try another technique, which is to select just the place where the clips meet and choose crossfade clips. That actually shortens the length of the clips together, which is annoying. And actually I might regret doing this when I get to the next note. But let's just see how that sounds.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
I still hear a click. So I'm not going to do that. I don't think it's worth it.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
What I'm going to do finally here, I'm going to merge these all together. I'm going to select an even smaller section between them. I'm going to press Control L to silence it completely.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
And I heard a little click. I think that's on the beginning of blue, so I'm going to do another fade in to soften that.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing. Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
Okay, I'm getting pretty desperate here to get rid of that. So I'm going to take this whole beginning and silence it, and then fade in the next little bit. I messed that up.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool and wild dogs, video games.
I'm still hearing a click. This is just driving me mad.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool.
So I'm going to mute the melody track. Well, maybe I should do the distortion here and see what that does.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
Oh, I think this is the click right here.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool.
And then the other problem is this right here. This ends rather abruptly. So I'm going to fade it out. I don't know why that didn't work before.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
I'm still hearing something. This is just terrible. I'm going to fade this one out because it looks like it ends a little abruptly too. If you're doing the same effect that you just did with the exact same parameters, you can just press Control R
Kissing in the blue dark plane.
I think I might have gotten it. Let's listen to that one more time.
Kissing in the blue dark plane.
Let's fade this out.
Kissing in the blue dark plane.
Silence this.
Kissing in the blue dark plane.
Well, I think that's probably as good as I'm gonna get it. You know, I am self-taught on this, so I'm not perfect, unfortunately. So let's move on to the next note, this dark.
Dark plane pulling.
And it looks like it ends right about here, so we'll select that.
Dark.
And we're getting a little P there, so let's shorten that selection a little bit.
Dark.
Okay, shorten it just a little more.
Dark.
And a little more.
Dark.
Lengthen it just a little bit to get that K, right? The word is dark.
Dark.
That sounds good to me. So copy that. Get our random note. 12. That is a B. I know it automatically because it's the highest note. So we're going from a B to an F sharp. That's a fifth, which is nice. Shouldn't be too hard to get a good chord out of that. So far we have I'm going to do B minor. So these middle two will be D natural. So to go from F sharp to D natural, we're multiplying by 4/5 to go down a major third. And when you multiply by 4/5, that's 80%, so it's minus 20%. And then the B down here, we're going for 2/3. So that's minus 33.333%. And it saves a lot of time if you can just run those percentages out really quickly. But when it gets more complicated, you have to go to the calculator.
Kissing in the blue dark plane.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool.
Kissing in the blue dark plane. Kissing in the blue dark plane.
I like how that.
Kissing in the blue dark plane.
I like how that really jumps up there. It's a cool sound.
Kissing in the blue dark. Kissing in the blue dark.
And I'm not hearing a click. For this one, I am going to do the distortion, and I'm going to intensify it and also make it louder. I want to get kind of like a helium effect.
Kissing in the blue dark plane. Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
And that was cool, but I'm gonna go even more intense. Let's do 15 units of distortion.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool. Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool.
I think that's a little too much. So I'm gonna do 12.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool. Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool.
And I still want this to be a little stranger. So I'm gonna go to the equalization and flatten. I'm gonna flatten. I'm gonna try to make a little triangle here so I don't get the super high pitches, but I do get that kind of middle high pitch out of it. Though this does not look good. Let's just play it, but it's probably gonna sound awful.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
Whoa! I think that is the frequency I want. But I don't want it that strong. So I'm gonna bring this way down.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing. Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool. Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool.
Oh, one more thing we can do. This is really fun. I'm gonna select about the first half of that word dark and label it so that I know where the half line is. I'm going to go to adjustable fade, do an S curve up, and see this -3 here? That's going to be where it starts, and the 0 is going to be where it ends. And then I'm going to do the opposite thing here. I'm going to do an S curve down. And the great thing about this effect is you don't actually need to switch the 0 and the 3 because it knows whether it's going up or down. So let's listen to that.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing.
And you hear it has that little bumpiness to it. And I'm going to do one more effect. I'm going to do this just on the middle 2 notes so I don't lose my bass note thing. But I'm going to do sliding pitch shift. We're going to start at 0, so the beginning will be the same pitch. And then the end, we want 1 semitone up. Or we could do the percent. I would rather do the percent. So a semitone in just intonation is 16/15. So I'm going up 6.667%. 1.117 semitones, and that's going to be a more perfect interval. And then I'm going to do the opposite thing for the other half of this. Start up 1.117 and end at 0. And let's just hear how that sounds.
Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool. Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool. Kissing in the blue dark, playing pool.
I don't actually like how that sounds, so I'm going to undo it.
Kissing in the blue dark playing.
Alright, I think that's, well, that's a good place to stop. We've done 30 minutes of work here. It took a little longer because I was explaining everything. But you'll notice this, this whole thing is 2 seconds. So you think 30 minutes of work, less than that most of the time, for 2 seconds. This project is taking me forever, and I have no idea when it will finally be done. But I'm going to keep working on it without bothering to explain everything I'm doing. And yeah, let's just listen to what we created just now one more time.
Kissing in the blue dark.
Alright, see y'all later.